Hi, everybody. It is Fee, and I am here with the amazing Zara for yet another episode of our favorite podcast. It has to be our favorite podcast, the Chef and the Nutritionist. So, welcome, Zara.
Hey
It's great to have you
everyone.
here. I do love our little chit chats, and today we are going to be chatting about one of the greatest myths, I think, when it comes to nutrition, and that is carbs. I even had a conversation just recently with someone who I thought was all over this, but yeah, just the confusion around what's a good carb, what's a bad carb. I can't have carbs. And I think that just kind of really breaks my heart because not all carbs are created equal. Maybe that's what we'll call this. They're not the same. They're totally not the same. So I might hand over to you to talk a little bit about the simple versus the complex.
Thanks, Fee. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me again. So carbs are so important for us, like Fee said. I have tried cutting out carbs in my own diet in the past, and it just has not worked. I know I need carbs. But there are ways around, you know, bringing those carbs into your diet in a healthier way and a safe way for your body to be able to digest and, fueling your body to keep you going all day. Um, so a complex carb, it's a carb that digests slowly and releases into the bloodstream more gradually. So if you're eating complex carbs, so it's, releasing slowly throughout the day. But a simple carb is digested fast and it can spike your blood sugar um, faster and a lot quicker. And it can become quite dangerous, especially, if you have an underlying illness or something like that. So best way to add in these carbs, so you would go a complex carb and avoid the simple carbs. A complex carb would be, adding in sweet potatoes, legumes, grains, whole grains into your diet. So you could make really nice salads. Quinoa is another good grain to get into your diet as well. Um, but avoiding those simple carbs like your white rices and your white grains, white potatoes. I know I love mashed potato, but sometimes we just have to avoid those white potatoes. So there's some simple ways and complex ways, excuse the pun, to add in those carbs because, we do need our carbs to balance hormones and they just act in so many different ways through our body, our digestion, and yeah, aiding in our fiber as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to you,
100%.
Fee.
They
Yeah.
are the heroes in my
Mm,
mind because we need them. As you said, hormones is one thing. They absolutely impact our mood
yeah.
because if you're on a low GI compared to a high GI carb, simple versus a complex, you have that up and down
Mm,
energy, and
yeah.
it does affect your mood, impacts your mood, impacts your physical performance.
Yep.
You
Sure
know,
does.
if we're having that crash because we've eaten too much simple carbs, we tend to
Yep.
and then importantly, and we were kind of chatting about this before, processed carbs, simple carbs generally do lead to weight gain. Because those refined carbs like the pastries and white breads and those sugary snacks, they will contribute to weight gain, metabolic disorders, obesity, overweight, all of those things that we are trying to avoid because it just screws up our life. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And carbs are just so important because apart from, you mentioned the hormones and I've mentioned mood, but they're basically the primary source of food to fuel our brain, our muscles, and the other tissues in our bodies. So when people say to me, I'm on a low carb diet, it actually scares me a little bit because I think, okay, well, what do you mean by that? And I guess some people mean they are on a low carb, getting all of those simple carbs out or gone, whereas others are just like, I can't eat carbs. It's like, well, talk to me about what is a carb. Because, yeah, I mean, fortunately, I guess in the supermarket or wherever you're shopping, you don't go up to a sweet potato and get a carb readout, because I think if you did, it might actually scare some people off. But keeping it to those whole foods, as you've mentioned, and oats are another of my absolute favorite. Even though I have a very low gluten diet, I will still have my oats in the morning because they are low GI. They keep me going for, a good couple of hours. And because they're releasing slowly, I don't have that.
Yeah.
High.
Another good way you can also take in your oats is to make overnight oats. So prepare them the night before. You can add in like different fruits, dried fruits, fresh fruits, berries, whatever you like, plant-based milk or whatever liquid. But what happens is with those oats, overnight, all the enzymes in those oats release. So the next day when you actually eat the oats, it's already digesting. So it's not going to sit in your belly. It will start the process straight away.
Yeah.
So I know that I can't eat porridge because it does sit in my belly.
Sure.
But overnight oats is a different story for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
and
another
even
good
if
way.
I don't have time, I will I only do my oats in water anyway when I'm boiling.
Yeah.
I will always just let them sit in filtered water. Like I might get up in the morning, put my oats under filtered water, go off, do what I'm doing for exercise in the morning, come back,
Yeah.
and then bring them to the boil. And then, or sometimes not. Sometimes they're already, ready to go. But I like, well, maybe we're coming into summer now, maybe not so warm. Maybe I will go for sides. But yeah, so I think probably the takeaway messages from today is that definitely not all carbs are equal, and that, bringing in those whole food nutrition options that we talk about all the time on our episodes is the best way to make sure that you're not starving your brain and your muscles and your tissues and everything else that does need those carbs. What would you consider to be one of your favorite recipes or favorite meals when it comes to making sure you're getting good carbs in? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you're all going to be surprised. It's pretty simple. Using a complex carb though, just a sweet potato, a small one. You can get small ones in the supermarket, usually in a packet, 3 or something. But all you do is pop it on a tray, spike it with a fork, a little bit of olive oil or a nice coconut oil, salt and pepper, and pop it in the oven and just bake it whole, like a potato in a jacket. And then once it's cooked, you pop it on your plate and you cut it open, and it's just like mash sweet potato, but it's absolutely delicious. And if you get the skin crispy enough, you can actually eat the skin as well. So make sure you give it a good wash before you pop it on the tray. And you can make that with a really nice salad, and you can pop in some nice complex carbs into your salad, like maybe some legumes, some beans, some edamame, peas. Even peas are a good option. And there's a nice small piece of protein. And yeah, that's my typical healthy meal, to make sure I'm getting all the things that my body needs in one meal.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's definitely one of my favorites too. I grow my own yams, my own sweet potatoes. So I love having them. I would eat them every day easily. And having that with a quinoa salad with black beans, and so easy, so simple, really.
Yeah.
And highly nutritious. So people, be careful what you say when you're on a low carb diet. Really understand that not all carbs are the same, that when you're on a low carb diet, pastas and processed carbs, sure, maybe reduce them, but don't give up on carbs completely. We want you to eat your fruits and your veg.
Yeah, please don't give up on carbs.
Never give up.
Never. Do your research and eat what's good for you, like what you like as well. But research those complex carbs.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's a wrap on carbs. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Always
Thank
chat
you.
to you about all things food, and we'll come back again for another episode soon.
See you next time. Thanks, Bea.
Thanks, Ars. Bye.
Bye.